Next on AMC, Cary Grant stars as a doctor with unconventional ideas in a drama directed by Joseph Mankiewicz, People Will Talk, featuring Jean Craig. Next on AMC.
AMC takes you to the Saturday matinee, where a nickel buys a ticket to a movie, and so much more. When the lights go down, the screen comes alive with thrills and romance, terror and triumph, laughter and song. The Saturday matinee, where the hero comes to the rescue, the good guy gets the bad guy, and some adventures leave you hanging.
Don't fail to see The Doom of the Rising Sun, Chapter 15 of Batman.
Here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
Join AMC every Saturday for America's Movie Palace Memories.
Now, who can that be?
Join in the mischief with the Little Rascals and help save our classic films before it's too late.
Look, Verena, there's the gang.
Oh, the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Call now to order your very own 5-volume collector's set and support film preservation. The set's beautifully restored, unedited, and available for the first time on home video.
We knew you'd like it.
Some of these films haven't been seen in over 40 years.
Hello, a girl.
6 hours of the original Little Rascals for just $69.95. All proceeds from your order will benefit the Film Foundation in its ongoing effort to preserve our nation's vanishing film heritage.
My hero, make them away.
Call 1-800-AMC-3360 and order your exclusive film preservation collection today.
The movie we're about to see, People Will Talk, was based upon a 1930s German novel and a film called Dr. Pretorius. On the surface, it could be considered merely a criticism of the medical community. But when today's film was produced, it's 1951, it became quite a bit more than just that. Director-writer Joseph Mankiewicz chose to do People Will Talk as a thinly disguised criticism of McCarthyism, which was then at its peak. So although the film has a certain comedic element about it, its purpose was deadly serious. Cary Grant gets to play the doctor whose past is under investigation. Today, Dr. Pretorius would be a practitioner of what we have come to know as holistic medicine. Back in the 1950s, methods like this were very suspect by a lot of people. As part of the publicity surrounding People Will Talk, Cary Grant placed his handprints in cement right outside Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. Fans who attended the ceremony were thrilled when he remained at the theater after the ceremony to sign autographs and just to talk to the fans. Cary Grant never really forgot who it was that made him a star, and people never forgot that. Anyway, those who were there that day. Here's Cary Grant and Jean Craig in People Will Talk.
Next on AMC, Cary Grant stars as a handsome Frenchman who tries to get to the United States in Howard Hawks' comedy classic, I Was a Male War Bride. Next on AMC.
This Halloween, you are cordially invited to the ultimate festival of fright. AMC's Monsters and Madmen Marathon. 2 nights of terror, the likes of which you've never experienced before.
Oh, we'll never get out of here.
You'll meet deranged killers.
Now you'll sing all you want, but only for me.
Demented scientists.
I will destroy you now.
And devilish deviants that defy description.
It's almost as if there were a curse on us.
So do come to our Halloween party and bring a friend. You may need something to hold on to.
You're not going to put me in a bedlam.
AMC's Monsters and Madmen Marathon, October 30th and 31st, only on AMC.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Clooney. If you live in one of these cities, you can be part of the Big Screen series presented by United Artists Theaters and American Movie Classics. Every Wednesday, we'll be showing one of your favorite classic movies at a selected United Artists Theater. Spectacular films with larger-than-life stars like John Wayne, Audrey Hepburn, Marlon Brando, Elizabeth Taylor, back on the big screen. I'll be there, too, sharing behind-the-scenes stories about the movies and stars, just as I do every day on American Movie Classics. So if you like classic movies, join us for the magic of the Big Screen series, brought to you exclusively by United Artists Theaters and American Movie Classics.
AMC presents one of the greatest westerns of all time.
What's the trouble, Lieutenant? Geronimo.
John Ford's finest frontier epic.
You may need me in this Winchester, Curly.
John Wayne.
Well, there's some things a man just can't run away from.
In the role that catapulted him to stardom. Stagecoach. Monday on AMC. John Wayne. He showed us the American spirit at its best. Now, AMC, a dedicated leader in film preservation, has rounded up this exclusive collection of John Wayne classics. Hondo and McClintock.
Somebody ought to belt you in the mouth, but I won't.
Call now, and both rarely seen videos can be yours for only $39.95.
The hell I won't.
These just-released films from John Wayne's private collection have been digitally remastered from their original film negative.
What do you think I am? I know what you're. There's a lady present.
And all proceeds from your order benefit the Film Foundation in its ongoing effort to preserve our nation's vanishing film heritage.
Man ought to do what he thinks is best.
You have good men. Treasure him.
Call 1-800-AMC-3360 and order your John Wayne Film Preservation Collection today.
World War II had been over only a couple of years when the residents of towns around Heidelberg, Germany, awoke to the sound that they had not heard in recent times. 18 heavy trucks, it seems, were carrying suspicious-looking equipment, roaring through their towns just before dawn. Residents were alarmed. They wondered if somehow, some way, this war was on again. But a German photographer following the trucks reassured his fellow citizens that there was no war. It was only the movie people from 20th Century Fox who were being helped out by the U.S. Army. They were making the movie we're about to see. It's called I Was a Male War Bride, and the Army gave the studio its complete cooperation all the way down the line. They really came through for Anne Sheridan when her luggage was held up in French customs. The Army wives then got together, and they provided her with enough clothing to see her through the movie. The wives got their reward, too. When the company needed extras, 35 wives were assigned to play Wax, and another 50 were cast as civilians. Supporting players were recruited from Heidelberg's 2 stock companies. Now, before we go on, just a quick word about the improbable-sounding title for this movie. I Was a Male War Bride. Well, the improbable can sometimes become reality because the plot is based on the experiences of Henri Rochard, a former captain in the French Army who married a WAC lieutenant. And while you're watching, keep in mind that Cary Grant did all of his own stunts in this movie, too. Well, he was good at that anyway. Here he is with Anne Sheridan in I Was a Male War Bride. I'm sure I mentioned it before, but just in case I missed it, Cary Grant in this movie, of course, did all his own stunts. And that included doing a barrel roll from a speeding motorcycle sidecar and being raised on a railroad crossing gate and being flung from the window of the inn. For those of you who don't think of Cary Grant as being particularly athletic or acrobatic, you might remember that he began his career as an acrobat, actually a stilt walker. One ad read, "Folks pay good money to see Cary Grant take the rough with the smooth, and by golly, take it he shall." And he did, didn't he? There was a good reason for choosing Heidelberg for the location shots in this movie. During World War II, Heidelberg was a hospital city, so it was never really a target for Allied bombing raids. For locations that called for bombed-out buildings, the company traveled to Mannheim and Frankfurt, both of which were heavily damaged during the time of the war. Now let's look at this.
Next on AMC, Ron Howard hosts an original AMC production that looks at how the film industry has portrayed itself through the decades. It's Hollywood on Hollywood, next on AMC.
In the wide world of motion pictures, they were specialists. And comedy was their craft. From generation to generation, they've handed down their time-tested tools.
Nah.
The one-liner.
Wouldn't it be much simpler to call a cab, Mom?
The misdirection.
This fella's a big shot. You heard what the waiter told us. Everybody knows him. He's a philanthropist.
I don't care who he votes for. I want my money.
And the good old-fashioned pratfall. Either alone or in a team, they all shared a common goal: to give us a good laugh. Now, AMC salutes Hollywood's comic kings and queens with an exclusive weekly series, Comedy Classics.
Next time on Comedy Classics, Shirley Booth, Anthony Perkins, and Shirley MacLaine star in the Thornton Wilder story that inspired Hello, Dolly, the Matchmaker, on the next Comedy Classics, Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on AMC. The Wild West sure was a dangerous place to be.
If I don't get him, the Indians will.
There were gunslingers, arrow slingers, and maybe most dangerous of them all, Miss Angela Rossini, star of stage. Manipulator of men.
These men are wild out here.
They are?
And shadiest con gal from Cheyenne to Carson City.
Oh, I like this game so much.
Sophia Loren and Anthony Quinn.
Is that for something you did or something you're gonna do?
In the best-looking Western of all time, Heller in Pink Tights. Wednesday on AMC.
Next on AMC, Jock Mahoney stars as an airline pilot who keeps recalling scenes from the past in the intriguing drama, I've Lived Before. Next on AMC.
Some things are made to last, to improve with age, to get better with time. It's like they were made for you. Put on something comfortable this weekend. AMC Saturday Classics. The stars you've loved forever. The movies you can't get enough of. On the next Saturday Classics, the past catches up with Burt Lancaster.
Two professional killers show up in a small town and put the blast on a filling station attendant. A nobody. There was no attempted robbery. They were out for only one thing: to kill him. Why?
Ava Gardner co-stars in The Killers, 5 p.m. Eastern, only on AMC. This Halloween, you are cordially invited to the ultimate festival of fright. AMC's Monsters and Mad Men Marathon. 2 nights of terror, the likes of which you've never experienced before.
Oh, we'll never get out of here.
You'll meet deranged killers.
Now you will sing all you want, but only for me.
Demented scientists.
I will destroy you now.
And devilish deviants that defy description.
It's almost as if there were a curse on us.
So do come to our Halloween party and bring a friend. You may need something to hold on to.
You're not going to put me in bedlam.
AMC's Monsters and Mad Men Marathon, October 30th and 31st, only on AMC.
Wild Heritage, the story of a young, untamed land and of the heavy hand it laid on those who challenged it. Of boys growing to quick manhood behind blazing guns. Of girls who loved them and fought them like the wild land itself.
Don't go looking for those killers. Nothing around here's worth another killing.
Shouldn't play tag with real guns on, boys. Might get hurt.
Them dar stairs yonder.
Where'd you get them?
They're ours. What happens to rustlers out here?
Well, we hang them. Try that again, sonny boy, and you'll be wearing 3 eyes.
You can't stop them from fighting for their land.
What does their land mean to you and me? I don't want their land, I want my boys.
If things go bad for us, I'd like to know you're looking after the family.
No, Dirk, you can't.
Don't miss Wild Heritage, premiering Friday, November 3rd, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, only on AMC.
I don't think I like your brand of hospitality, Mr. Bendix.
Now, wait a minute.
You can push Johnny around if he likes it, but I don't like it, not from you or anybody.
In the desert, tempers burn and passions ignite.
Don't go out there again.
Now, wait a minute, Tom.
I mean what I say, Paul. When you tangle with someone like Bendix, you just don't pick up your jacks afterwards and go home.
You get your brains knocked out, kid. You're going to wish you'd never seen me.
Burt Lancaster, Elizabeth Scott, John Hodiak, Mary Astor, Desert Fury, Thursday on AMC.
Christine, you're going to be a great and famous singer. I'll help you.
The Phantom of the Opera is possessed by his love.
Nothing matters except you and me, Christine. Now you'll sing all you want, but only for me.
Nelson Eddy, Susanna Foster, and Claude Rains star in The Phantom of the Opera. Tuesday on AMC.
John Wayne. He showed us the American spirit at its best. Now, AMC, a dedicated leader in film preservation, has rounded up this exclusive collection of John Wayne classics. Hondo and McClintock.
Somebody ought to belt you in the mouth, but I won't.
Call now, and both rarely seen videos can be yours for only $39.95.
The hell I won't.
These just-released films from John Wayne's private collection have been digitally remastered from their original film negative.
What do you think I am?
I know what you are. There's a lady present.
And all proceeds from your order benefit the Film Foundation in its ongoing effort to preserve our nation's vanishing film heritage.
Man ought to do what he thinks is best.
You have good men. Treasure him.
Call 1-800-AMC-3360 and order your John Wayne Film Preservation Collection today. Next on AMC, Jock Mahoney stars as an airline pilot who keeps recalling scenes from the past in the intriguing drama, I've Lived Before. Next on AMC.